Welcome back to Week in Review with me, Jane Secker. I'm joined by Kevin Maguire, Associate Editor of the Daily Mirror, and Andrew Pearce, Consultant Editor of the Daily Mail. And before the break, we asked what more Brits are getting into the habit of. You both got it.
Yes, they're becoming nuns.
Yes.
They're up about, the number of vocations up about 25%, which I think there's now about 55 women went into it.
It's a 25-year high.
Yeah.
The figures from the Catholic Church show the number of women taking their vows has trebled in the last 5 years, from 15 in 2009 to 45 now, which still doesn't seem like a massive number.
No, but you can see the attraction in a low-wage, 0 hours contract economy. You get 4 meals a day, free clothes, accommodation. Every night you can stay in. There we are.
Nuns do often very important work in the community with elderly people and with children, and I'm rather pleased. I was brought up a Catholic, and I was taught by some nuns. I'm sure the current breed of nuns are probably a little bit more compassionate in their teaching methods than one or two of those who taught me.
What, did they used to beat you?
I still bear the scars.
Did you get beaten by nuns?
I loved it.
Right, let's move on to our next story. And it might be the biggest supermarket here in the UK, but Tesco has reported the worst results in its 96-year history with a loss of £6.4 billion. Losses largely down to the fall in property value of its stores, but the company is also facing changing shopping habits and the rise of the no-frills supermarkets. Mark Kleinman has more.
If you want a symbol of Tesco's spectacular fall from grace, look no further than this site in Wolverhampton. Owned by the UK's biggest retailer for more than a decade, its former bosses earmarked it as part of the supermarket space race. In January, Tesco abandoned the project, saying it no longer made financial sense. Today, it showed why. Announcing a £6.4 billion loss for the year to February, it was the worst set of results in the near century since Tesco was founded.
It's a very, very, very difficult market. There's deflation that's out there. It's very incumbent on me and everybody else in Tesco that we can continue to improve the performance of the business. And if that's the case, then we can use this as a foundation to build the business going forward. But we have to perform.
That vast loss for 2014 includes £7 billion in one-off charges, of which more than £4 billion relate to the devaluation of property assets like the one in Wolverhampton. It ranks as the 6th worst performance in UK company history. The man at the top said today that Tesco needed to focus on service, product and price if it's to beat its competition. But British grocery retailing is changing so fast that achieving that ambition will be harder now than at any time in his company's long history.
But it is interesting because the figures are bad, but as Mark explained, it is slightly to do with the property write-down, so property prices potentially dipping a little. That might be partly to do with it. But are we all fundamentally changing the way we shop, do you think?
Do you know one of the things I think that why Tesco lost the plot? I read the other day that Dave Lewis, the new boss, has got rid of the 5 private jets that Tesco had. What on earth were they thinking of? This is a supermarket which used to appeal to the people at the lower end of the income scale. I think they've just completely lost their way. And just a small example. I was in my little Tesco local in North London a few weeks ago, and as I was in the queue, I saw Gordon's Gym, which I'd bought 3 of a few weeks earlier, because it was £3.85. Well, I knew he was coming round. So when the special offer was gone, it was cheaper than before the special offers. So that was a complete rip-off. They are ripping people off with these special offers. What they should do is just cut the price across the board and stop all these deals.
Jane,
Have you changed the way you shop?
No, I still go to Asda most Saturdays. No, I like pushing my trolley around and seeing what's there and looking at the bargains.
More off his trolley.
Other people will do it online, but we mustn't overstate it. We mustn't overstate where Tesco is still getting about 3 in every £10 of what we spend. I mean, it'd be called a basket case by him. Anyway, they still get £3 and £10 of what we spend at supermarkets. But I remember there was a time you could not have thought there wouldn't be a Woolworths on a high street in any town or city, and it disappeared. And nobody is too big to fail.
Can't beat Waitrose.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to a slightly more serious subject. Your paper stories of the week. The first one that you've picked, Kevin, this is about the 93-year-old former Nazi guard who was known as the bootkeeper of Auschwitz, who has admitted that he's morally guilty at this trial in Germany. Over 3 500,000 people died during the time he was there.
No, and absolutely appalling. I've been to Auschwitz-Birkenau, and you can still feel the evil. And Oscar Groening, 93 now, as you say, accepts he's morally guilty, but he says, look, I didn't actually kill anybody. He was a guard, took their possessions, sent them back to Berlin. And there is an argument, can you be too old to be tried? I think you can't be too old, certainly not for one of the great war crimes of history. But it also makes me wonder about Greville Janner, the Labour peer who isn't being tried on charges of paedophilia and sexual abuse because he's said to be unfit to stand. He used to always argue, certainly with the Holocaust, nobody, whatever their condition, their age or their mental condition, should never not be tried. So,
right, let's cheer ourselves up. Shooting things probably shouldn't cheer us up, but this is quite funny. This is one man's frustration with the modern technological world, and I've been there.
I love this story. This is a guy who took his computer into an alleyway in Colorado because it wouldn't work and shot it with a gun 8 times. Now, I can tell you this morning, if I had a gun in my house, I'd have probably done the same with my laptop because I'm always having laptop malfunctions. And it is the scourge of the modern world. When it goes wrong, your whole life unravels.
It's that kind of computer says no thing that you can't reason with it.
No.
And I cannot cope with it.
I shout at mine.
The red mist comes down.
But I do shout at my computer all the time.
Really, do you?
Yeah, the cats know to get out of the way. Oh, God, he's shouting at that thing again.
Do you shout at brick walls and the TV, passing buses, cans of beans?
The police, though, they had a bit of a sense of humour about it. The local paper wrote it up, man kills computer, and in the police report it says at the end, the computer is not expected to survive. Right, Kevin, your story, it's about sex, and it seems that the more of it you get, the more you earn.
Yeah, the more sex you have, the more you earn. Greek study which find if you have it 2 or 3 times a week, you earn about 4.5% more than those who don't. Not a lot of money, but I've now explained your low earnings.
No, that's why Kevin is on the minimum wage.
I know.
How do we know he wants the minimum wage increase?
Too late. I got the joke in first about your earnings.
But the question is, does lack of sex lead to lower wages, or does low wages lead to lack of sex? That's what they can't work out.
No, they can't. But you would. I don't know. You're just looking
That's why
at
I
him
have to
now.
buy all the drinks, all the coffee, and have a go out with because he hasn't got any money this week.
Hey, look, I'm married with 3 kids. I mean, look, you know.
The last child of his is 42.
I know. I just want a cup of Horlicks these days.
It does raise the question of how you go about getting a pay rise, though, doesn't it?
Ooh. Not worth it.
Away from sex, because we're very English and we don't talk about such things. Andrew, you want to talk about the other things that are great about being English?
This is
all 10 of them.
A survey. I've forgotten who did the survey. It was certainly reported in one of the papers. But the thing we like to do most of all as English is to complain about the weather, eat fish and chips.
Yeah.
But the other thing that defines us, we can't speak a foreign language. Kevin can't speak English properly either, of course. But I think that list of 10 is us, really. Queuing's
up there. Loving a good moan.
Yeah.
Apologising unnecessarily when you bump into somebody. Drinking tea.
Yeah, I drink loads of tea.
Yeah,
I drink loads of tea.
You know, when it all comes together, though, is a kind of sense of optimism. Even moaning, you kind of see it as something good. And you know, when you're moaning about it, you love doing it. And I love the fact we do queue. And it's orderly, although not always at bus stops, I've noticed. But you know,
But do you think we celebrate being English enough? You know, we
don't do anything with St George's Day.
Yeah.
We have St Patrick's Day
Apart from Nigel Farage.
celebrations.
Make an effort, do something yourself.
And the mayor supports it, but they never do anything with St George's Day.
What I always love about St George's Day, of course, is he was a Turk working for the Romans in Palestine. He was a migrant worker, and your lot would stop him coming to Britain. Now you'd ban St George from England.
The ups and downs of the week now. Kevin, we're starting with you. You're up this week. It's Jess and Mike. They are the parents of Teddy Houlston. He was the Britain's youngest ever organ donor.
He was. He died minutes after being born. His twin survived. They donated his organs, including the kidneys, to an adult who now carries 4 kidneys. And it's just a really inspiring tale of how they wanted their child they knew was going to die to have real meaning, and they've given the gift of life to somebody else. I just think it's exceptional.
Encourage more people to donate as well. So we're sending them up for a very generous decision. But you're sending down this week Nigel Short. He's the chess champion, isn't he?
The Grandmaster.
Good job, he's a man.
Well, he's another sexist who said women's brains aren't hardwired to play chess. He was beaten by a woman 8 times, wasn't he? But
she must have brought a man brain with her that day.
What a dinosaur. Checkmate for him, off the board.
OK, he's going down. Andrew, you are sending up, though, this week.
My heroine.
Oh, how many times can we get her in?
First, she's embraced by Madonna, who said she was a great
do know
role
she's
model
dead.
and inspiration, and also, of course, the great Helen Mirren, who played the Queen brilliantly.
This is Madonna. Madonna included this with a quote of hers: "If you set out to be liked, you would be prepared to compromise on anything at any time, and you would achieve nothing."
Fantastic endorsement of her.
And then she took it down almost
Madonna's
immediately.
fans are outraged.
Because Thatcher was a homophobe.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
Half of her closest mates were gay.
No, well, you can put that on your shrine.
It's already there. It's already there.
Another bit of
Right, so you're sending Thatcher up, but you're sending down strippers in China.
They have been banned by the Chinese government, get this, from performing at funerals. Why on earth would you want a stripper at a funeral?
Because apparently local villagers believe that the more people who attend a funeral, the more the dead person is honoured.
Right.
So they often pop a couple of strippers on a stage.
As you do.
In the hope of getting in the crowds.
Were they male or female strippers? We weren't told.
There was one in Hebei province, apparently, where the ladies danced passionately, took their clothes off piece by piece. Behind them, an electronic screen displayed a picture of the deceased couple with poetry on either side.
Lovely.
Weird.
Very odd.
Do they have beer and bingo as well to get people along?
Oh, yeah, get me there. Right, so the strippers, we're sending them down. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for joining us for our review of the week. And don't forget, you can catch Kevin and Andrew in action on the Sky News press preview, along with all the other paper reviewers, as they take a look at the day's papers every evening, 10:30 and 11:30 on Sky News. We'll be back with much more next week. So for now, it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Fight of the century. It's been a long road. Mayweather Pacquiao, the biggest fight in boxing history.
Saturday at midnight on Sky Sports Box Office. To order now for $19.95, see Channel 491, press the green button or go to skysports.com/Maypack.
Lucky to be alive, the battle now focusing on finding more survivors in Nepal as the number killed reaches more than 2,000. After the quake, regular aftershocks spread panic in the region as the UK pledges £5 million to help in the rescue effort. And 17 die on Everest as tremors trigger avalanches and rockfalls. Also today, holding the balance of power, but the Labour Party rejects the idea of even a loose relationship with the Scottish nationalists. And Sky News finds evidence of migrants left to fend for themselves on the streets of Italy.
One shock already this afternoon. Everton record their biggest win against Manchester United for 23 years. 3-0 they won at Goodison Park. Could there be another? Chelsea's bid to get the first of the 2 wins they need to be champions is just about to get underway. Kick off in the next few seconds at Arsenal. It's first versus second in the table. We'll have the latest coming up shortly.
This is Sky News with Paula Middlehurst.
Good afternoon. More than 2,000 people are now known to have died in the earthquake in Nepal. Rescue teams from all over the world are now arriving to join in the desperate search for survivors. The British government has, within the last hour, promised to give more than £5 million to help with the rescue effort. Those efforts are now being hampered by aftershocks, though, as Sky's Emma Birchley reports.
Weak, but alive. A survivor is freed from the wreckage. The discovery, much needed encouragement for exhausted search teams. Across Kathmandu, rescuers have been working around the clock. Buildings crumpled as the ground shook, leaving conditions for those hunting through the rubble dangerous and unstable. What is not clear is the extent of the damage in Nepal's more remote areas, closer to the epicentre, 50 miles northwest of the capital. For those pulled free from the destruction, there's the urgent need for medical help. But the demand on hospitals is overwhelming, with patients being treated wherever space can be found.
Most of them are suffering from head injuries. Like many people who are serious are suffering from head injuries and the chest injuries, spine injuries, abdominal injuries.
The stories of loss are harrowing.
My father got injured. I lost my daughter. I broke my leg. It is very difficult now and I have nothing with me.
And the aftershocks have kept coming, sending those whose homes remain intact out into the open, one a powerful 6.7 magnitude. Clear ground is the safest place to be in Kathmandu, and camps are becoming increasingly organised. But there is still the risk of further tremors, adding to the challenge for aid workers.
We have the capacity of getting water to 100,000 people, so this is now set in motion. It's trembling. I'm going outside. I'm really sorry. Bye.
At Kathmandu's airport, supplies are arriving from around the world, along with aid workers and further rescue teams. While those desperate to leave queue up in the hope of getting a flight.
Yesterday, hungry, but not drinking water, are cancelled, sleeping well. So now we are going in the rescue flight.
For the bereaved who found their loved ones, the cremations have already begun. But so many people are still missing, and as every hour passes, the chance of finding survivors slips away. Emma Birchley, Sky News.
Well, after